My name is Johnson. I'm from Computer Science Engineering Department from Carne Industry. Today we'll discuss about the CPU scheduling algorithms, how the algorithms will be performed in the CPU when the process is going on. There are several algorithms in the CPU scheduling. That is FCFS, that is first come first serve algorithm, and then second one is priority, and third one is round robin algorithm, and third one is shortest job algorithm. When we see the definition when we see the definition of CPU scheduling, process are the small flow that are executed by the user according to the request. If the user has given this some programs to execute by the CPU will execute the process which the algorithms are depend upon the process according to the rules of schedule. Now, for example, I have given a program of to run a uh, ascending order. Now when I assign a ascending order to this to the process, the CPU will assign some rules and schedules. According to that, the CPU will give the output. Now according to that, when the user has performed some programs, the CPU will chooses the shortest algorithm which suits the better algorithm and better solution for the user. Now when we see the CPU executes all the process according to some rules or some schedule, the CPU execute all the process according to some rules. Now the scheduling is that in which each process has some amount of time of CPU. Now the scheduling means every process has some amount of time to execute by the CPU. Now scheduling provides time of CPU to the each process. Now when the user have given the program, and the CPU suits the algorithm according to the user program, and the process of that algorithm will be assigned for certain of time to the CPU. Now, when we discuss first algorithm by the CPU scheduling is FCFS, that is first come first serve algorithm. When we see the first come first serve, it is the very easy method. When the when the uh, when the process has come to the CPU to execute, which the process is comes first, it will be executed by the CPU. For example, if you went to the shop, there are 10 members in the shop. When we went when you go to the shop of the third member, and it will be you will be assigned to the products of shopkeeper after the two persons have taken some amount of products. So the same process will be done by the FCFS algorithm. When the three or four process are in the ready queue of CPU, the fifth process want to execute. Now there are four process to execute before executing a fifth process. So it will execute the fourth process after releasing all that. Then the fifth process will be executed. It will be uses the queue structure, that is first in first out. When first process will be gone to the CPU, then after releasing a first process, then that second process will be assigned to that CPU. So when we see the example of that, when we see that there are three process, and the arrival time are 0, 2 and 2 milliseconds, and the burst time is 18 milliseconds, 7 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds. When I have said that which process is the first will be given to the CPU, that when the P1 is first process and it is 0 milliseconds, now it will execute up to, it have given the some time of 18 milliseconds, up to 0 to 18 milliseconds it will be executed by the CPU. After 18 seconds it will be released. After 18 seconds the second P2 process will be assigned to the CPU at this some amount of time, that is 7 milliseconds, and arrival time is at 2 milliseconds will be assigned to the CPU, and the releasing time is 7 milliseconds. And when we see the process one has taken the 18 milliseconds to execute, and after from 18 to 7, 18 plus 7, 25 milliseconds will be executed by P2, and after releasing the P2, then P3 will be assigned to the CPU. Up to 10 milliseconds it will be executed in the CPU. Now 25 plus 10, that is 35. The 35 milliseconds will be executed by the P3. Now when we calculate the average waiting time of that, when we see that the P1 average waiting time is 0 millisecond because it has no waiting time for that. 0 milliseconds is the arrival time of P1. Now when we see P2 arrival time is 18 and P3 arrival time is 25. Now when we add and divide it by 3, then now it will come the average waiting time. When you go to the program of first come first serve, I have taken the C++ program. Here I have taken the int and uh, BT20 WT20 TAT, that is turnaround time, average waiting time, average turnaround time, wait, and burst time, and some total the process should be executed. When I have given the input as the enter the user as enter the number of process, I have stored the number of process in the n variable, and when we the burst time is given the for loop as for I equal to I less than and I plus plus, and the process of burst time it will be stored in the array, that is bt of I. Now the first waiting time is 0. After that I have assigned for loop as I equal to 1 I less than and I plus plus, for j equal 0 j less than I j plus plus, waiting time plus equal to burst time. When we want to execute the waiting time, one by one process should be executed, so that waiting time plus burst time. According to the burst time, according to the burst time only the process will be executed and released, so that I have assigned that waiting plus equal to burst time, and I'm printing that process burst time, waiting time, turnaround time. Now I'm carrying out the turnaround time. The turnaround time equal to burst time plus wait of execution of that process. And to calculate the average weight of 5, I have turned that average weight is, that is execution of that arrival time of that, and average stat turnaround time is stat of 5, and I'm executing that I plus 1, so that to execute the process, that is I am executing that is I plus 1, and average weight equal to n and average stat equal to n. When we run the output of this, okay, I'm entering the number of process, I'm entering a 4, enter process of burst time, I'm entering 24, 3 and 6 and 8. When we see that process 1 is executed at burst time at 24, waiting time is 0 and turnaround time is 24. Average waiting time is 21 and average turnaround time is 31. This is the process FCFS. It is very simple algorithm by the CPU to execute, and very simple by the CPU to do the algorithm, and according to the user it will be executed. Now when we discuss about the priority scheduling, the priority scheduling is one of the most common scheduling algorithm is batch system. Each process assigned priority process will be highest priority to be executed first, and so on. When we given a CPU some process, the highest priority process will be executed first. If for example, if the process P1 has the seven priority, the P1 will be executed first in according to the remaining process. Now when we see some example of that, when we see here priority example, there are three processes to be executed by the CPU. The burst time is 10 for the P1 process, and the priority is 2, and the P2 process the burst time is 5 and the priority is 0, and the process for P3 the burst time is 8 and the priority is 1. According to the algorithm, according to the steps of that algorithm, we have assigned that which is the highest priority will be taken first to the CPU scheduling to be executed. When we see that P1 has the priority of 2 and P2 has priority of 0 and P3 has priority of 1. When we see the highest priority is for the P1 process. Now the CPU will be assigned the P1 process first to be executed and released by that. When we see the P1 is executed by two process, and that the burst time is 10, the 10 milliseconds will be released by the P1 process. When we 0 to 10, the 10th process will be released by the P1 process. The when we see the the P1 is executed successfully, and we will compare the P2 and P3, which is higher, which is having the highest priority. When we see that P3 have the highest priority of 1, now the P3 will be executed by the CPU of the second one. That is, it will burst. The time is 8, from 8 milliseconds after it will be burst and released out of the CPU. When we see the in the last, the P1 has executed up to 10 milliseconds, and for the P3 now burst time is 8. Now we'll add this to 10 plus 8, 18 milliseconds. Now after that, P2 has only alone to execute that to the CPU to be executed. Now we will assign the period to the CPU schedule. Now the burst time is 5. Now 18 plus 5 is 23. This is the process of priority scheduling, how the CPU will be assigned according to the priority. It will choose the highest priority is the first to be executed in the CPU. And we'll see the program of that. Now here I have taken the variables as ij and turnaround time, waiting time, burst time, priority, and turnaround time, and the turnaround time, waiting time. That I have taken that when we enter the number of process, it will executed by the how many process we have to enter. This is the burst time and the priority of process, PID of I equal to I. And according to that CPU, the next process should be executed by that. So I have incremented the I plus 1 to the j and less than n, and I plus plus. Period I is greater than j, then t equal to PR of I. If when we see in the example, the highest priority will be taken. Now we have taken that if the I is greater than j, then the t equal to PR of I should be executed by the CPU. Here I have taken the, if PRI equal to PRJ, then PRJ equal to T equal to PT of I. Now according to this, the CPU will be taking the priority scheduling process. Now here I am calculating the TAT, that is turnaround time equal to burst time of 0, average waiting time equal to 0, and weight of I equal to I minus 1 plus BT of I minus 1, TAT of I equal to weight of I plus BT of I. When we see this process, waiting time equal to that, according to the priority, the waiting time should be executed by the CPU. When we, according to this, the waiting time and the TAT around time will be calculated, and after that we are printing the priority, burst time, waiting time, turnaround time. Now here we are calculating the TAT, that is TAT equal to TAT of I, and waiting time equal to turn waiting time plus weight of I. When we run this program, I have done that highest priority will be taken first by the CPU. Here I have taken the 5 process I am executing. The burst time and priority is here. The burst time is 4, and the priority I am giving as 7, 6, 9, 5, 10, 6, 19, 4, 1. When we see the highest priority is 25. When we see that I have entered that the highest priority is for the process of 3. The process 3 will be executed first because the priority is 19. So it will be executed first. After the P2 process will be executed, after the P1 process will be executed, after that the process 0 will be executed successfully. And you see that average waiting time equal to 9, average turnaround time equal to 14. Now we will see the next algorithm of CPU scheduling, that is round robin algorithm. The scheduling algorithm is designed especially for time sharing systems. This round robin scheduling will be executed by the time, similar to FCFS scheduling, but preemption is added to switch between process. Now when we see the example of this program, when we see the round robin example, here when we see there are 3 process, and the burst time here as for the P1 is 24, and for the P2 is 3, and the P3 is 3. the difference between the all algorithms and for this is for the round robin algorithm there is a time limit for every process to be executed. When we see that it follows the FCFS, it follows which the process will be first, it will be executed by CPU, but according to the time process. Well, when we see the P1 has the bursting time of 4, but here the that should be executed only up to 4 millisecond. So here when we see that the P1 will be executed from 0 to 4, after 4 the P2 will be arrival to the CPU, and the CPU will be executed up to 4, but here only the 3 processes are there, though 4 plus 3 is 7, and after that according to the time limit is 4, but P3 has only the burst time as 3. According now again the CPU will be scheduling by the process 3, and 7 plus 3 is 10, and 10 after that again the P1 has the time here to execute. In the first it has taken the time of 4, and the remaining are 20. Now 20 will be executed by the P1 process according to the time limit of 4. Now the up to then 10 after the P1 it will be scheduled up to 4 milliseconds, so 10 plus 4 is 4, and to assign P2 and P3 that burst time is completed, so again the P1 will be executed up to 4 milliseconds, up to that burst time will become to 0. Now when we calculate that, average turnaround time equal to 0 plus 10 minus 4 plus 4 plus 7. Now when we see here the P1 has executed up to 30, but here the P2 P3 are there, so 0 and 10 minus 4 completion of time is first process 4. Now when we calculate that 4 plus 7 and by 3 we'll get the average time of 5.6. When we see the program of that round robin using, here I have taken the void find waiting time into process of enter burst time and into waiting time into quantum that is time. Now into I equal 0, I less than, and I plus plus bt of I equal to bt of I. Here I am assigning the t equal to 0, the time limit done equal to when the time limit will be done according to the process, then it will be true. So I am here running the I equal 0, I less than, I plus plus. If the burst time is the burst time of I is greater than quantum, then the time limit will be plus equal to quantum. Then if for example if there are only burst time of 3, according to the example we have seen that the time is 4 but the burst time is only 3, so that should be only the 3 should be executed by the that. So we are using else t equal to t plus remember of t equal to I. Now when we see here for calculating the total waiting time plus wait of I, the execution of that process, and to calculate the turnaround time, total turnaround time plus equal to the I, that the process of that, and we will print the average wait and turnaround time. Here the number of process, enter the time slice to enter the time, how much time should be executed by the process one by one. So this is all about the program of round robin. Now we will execute the output, how the process the CPU will be executing process according to the time limit. Here I am executing the process of 5. Enter the time slice, I am entering the time slice as 4. The burst time for process 1, that is 5, 7, 9, 8, 18. And we see here average waiting time equal to 22, average turnaround time equal to 32. Now when we see that process 1 has the burst time of 5. Now the time limit I have given as 4. Now 5 plus it will exit up to 5, up to 4, 0 to 4. After 4 the process 2 will be coming, that is 4 plus again 4, the remaining are 3. Now 4 plus 4 is 8, and after that P3 will be coming, 8 plus 4, again that 8 plus 4 equal to answer, then answer plus equal to 8 and answer plus equal to 4, that will be executed up to the burst time will become to 0 come to the time limit. Here they according to the round robin algorithm, when we see the shortest job first algorithm, short job first algorithm, when we see the process shortest job first algorithm, always it will chooses the shortest job first. When we see the example of that, in the shortest job first, there are two types of primitive, that is non-primitive and primitive. Now we will see the example of non-primitive of SJF. There are three process. There are four process P1, P2, P3, P4, and the burst time is for the P1 is 6, P2 is 8, and P3 is 7, and P4 is 3. When we see the Gantt chart of that, how the non-primitive will be executing, when we see that the SJF always chooses the lowest job first. When we see here the P1 of burst time, that is 3 is the lowest. Now the P4 will be executing first up to 3 of that, it will be released, and after that the smallest is P1 6, 3 plus 6 9, and after the P4 P1 has completed execution and release. Now after that the smallest is P3. Now 9 plus 7 is 16. After the P3 has completed, now the remaining one only is P2 process. Now it will be executed last, that is 16 plus 8 is 24. To calculate the average waiting time is 3 plus 16 plus 9 plus 0, that is by 4 equal to 7 ms. When we see the according to the program of that, here burst, I have taken the variables as burst time, waiting time, turnaround time, total equal 0, pause temp. When here I am entering the number of process and number of burst time to be executed, position equal to I for j equal to I plus 1 should be executed according to the smallest job, but it should be executed after which is the smallest number, should be chosen, and it will execute that. Now if the one by one process, it will be checking that if position of that process of I is less than or equal to next or not, then it will check if it is less than of all process, then it will execute. Then here waiting time I have taken 0, and waiting time of I equal 0, I j less than I and j plus plus, and we are calculating the turnaround time, that is burst time plus wait of I, and total equal to tat, and after that average waiting time, average turnaround time. When we execute the output of this, turnaround time, enter burst time. To enter the burst time, here I am entering the 4, 6, 7, 9, and 1. When we see according to the process, the least is 1. So the 1 will be taken first, after the list is 6 will be taken after this 1, 4, 6, 7, 9 to be executed. By that, when we calculate, the average waiting time is 7 and average turnaround time is 12.4. Now this is all about the CPU scheduling algorithms, how the CPU will be taken according to the user's input, it will be chosen. When we see that if the user has entered some program for that to the CPU chooses the best algorithm for that, and it will be given some time to be executed and to give the output to the user. Thank you. This is all about CPU scheduling. Thank you.